are going to be, this is lesson 90. We did skip lesson 89. We're skipping 89 going to 90, and this is about mixed number coefficients and negative coefficients. So very quickly, what we're talking about here is a scenario like this. If we have this problem, look on the board with me please, the overhead. If we have 4/5 x equals 7, the way we solve for this, obviously, we have a fraction over here now. Okay, so we can divide 4/5 by 4/5, just like if we had a problem that said 2x equals 8, we would divide both sides by 2. We're dividing both sides by 2 for what reason? We're dividing it to make it a 1, right? To get rid of the constants and just have a variable. So 2 over 2 equals 1, which means x equals 8 over 2, or 4, right? Well, when we have 4/5 x equals 7, guys, we're trying to get rid of the 4/5. And if we tried to divide by 4/5, that in itself is a bit of a chore, but then we have to divide 4/5 into 7 over here. That's a real headache, right? So what we can do to make this a 1 on this side of the equation is, what if we multiplied it, instead of dividing it, multiplied it by the reciprocal, right? 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 over 20 is 1, right? Makes sense? Or we can cross-reduce this. 5 into 5 goes one time. 4 into 4 each goes one time. So we have 1 over 1 times 1 over 1, or 1 times 1. It's 1. Either way, it leaves us with x. And we know what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So we multiplied this side by 5/4, which means we have to multiply this side by 5/4. So we multiply it by 5/4. To make it easy, put the 7 over a 1. And then we do our math. 7 times 5 is 35. 4 times 1 is 4. Our answer is 35/4. Pretty simple? Anybody not understand that? No, don't put it into a mixed number. Do not put it into a mixed number. Okay? Pretty good? Okay. I'm going to yeah. That's all you're really doing, guys. Look at this one here. Let's take 3 1/3 x equals 5. Okay, same thing. I can divide this by 3 1/3, but then I got to divide this by 3 1/3. Don't really want to do that. So let me put this into an improper fraction first. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I have 10/3 x equals 5. And now what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply it by the inverse to make this side a 1, because this all turns into a giant 1, which leaves me x. And then I have x equals 5 times 3/10, or 5 over 1 times 3 over 10. And when I multiply that out, x equals 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 10 is 10. And that can be further reduced into what? 3/2, right? That's it, guys. That's how easy this. That's why I wanted to take some time and talk to you about the stuff we talked about today, because I knew today's lesson was going to be very, very simple. Okay? Huh? Yeah, you could. You could. You can cross-reduce. You absolutely can cross-reduce if you wanted to. You sure could. Now, we're going to jump ahead a little bit and go into a negative. We're going to have negative 2/3 x equals 4/5. Okay? Bear with me a minute. Let me erase some of this stuff here. Okay. So, guys, what are we going to do? We're going to reverse, reciprocal, right? We're going to take a negative 3/2 times the negative 2/3, and that's x, and that's going to be equals to 4/5. And what we do on this side, we have to do over here, so it's going to be times a negative 3/2, right? This is all going to cancel out to be 1, so we're going to have x. And then we have, what's 4 times 3? 12. What's 5 times 2? And then we have a negative times a positive. What's it going to be? Negative. Negative 12/10. Can we reduce that? Yeah, to what? Negative 6/5, right? Divide it by 2. That's all we're doing, guys. That's all our lesson is. Now I'm going to do one more problem here for you. Yeah. Okay, let's do the decimal one. We have minus minus 5x equals 0.24. Okay, now, we don't have a fraction over here, do we? We don't have a fraction here, do we? So how can we get rid of that 5? Divide it by negative 5. But I have to do that over here too, right? So this is going to turn into 1, or x, and I have x equals negative 5 divided by 0.24. Hey, when I have decimals, I'm dividing, I just bring the decimal up, don't I? So what does 5 go into 0? 0. 5 go into 2? 0. 5 go into 24? 4 times gives me 20. 4 left over, bring down to 0. 8. So my answer is I have a negative, right? Don't forget the negative. Yep. It's negative 0.048. It's not so bad, is it? Hang on, guys. They're leaving early. We still got 3 minutes left. I knew it wasn't going to take long, but yeah, I sure can. The good news is this will be recorded tonight, so you can watch it. Let's do the one we didn't do yet. We have well, this one here. We have 2 1/2 y equals 1 7/8. Isaac, how do I convert 2 1/2? You don't know. How do I make that an improper fraction? Huh? Look at guys, watch. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, right? 5 halves. 5 half y. Got to make this an improper fraction. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15 over 8. You see that, Isaac? You don't remember how to do this? Huh? Okay, well, do you understand what I'm doing? Huh? Okay, does this make sense to you how I got 5 halves? I'm solving for y. Do you know how I got 5 halves from 2 1/2? You don't know how to do that? To go from a mixed number to an improper fraction? Okay. Cam, how? No, 2 times 2. Yep. 5, right. Yeah, exactly. So Isaac, you know how, so you understand, Isaac? So 1 7/8 is 15/8. You got that? So then what do I have to do next, Isaac? I'm trying to get y by itself. No, I don't divide anything. What do I do, Cam? Go! Multiply by the reciprocal, 2/5 on both sides, right? This cancels out, doesn't it? That leaves me y equals, and then what's 15 times 2? What's 8 times 5? You can. I can do it now. What does that reduce to? 3/4. Isaac, you with me? This will be on the test tomorrow if you guys are taking the test tomorrow. Come in at lunch. Yeah. Anybody understand? Isaac, is anybody else struggling with this? Anybody else? Isaac, you still stuck? What second part? Guys, let me talk to him. We have 5 halves, right? Y equals 15/8. You know how we got that, right? Okay. We have to get this side y by itself. How do we do that when we have a fraction? You multiply, yes, reciprocal. You multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is the opposite. The opposite of 5 halves is 2/5. So I'm going to multiply this side by 2/5. I have to do the same thing to both sides, Isaac, right? So these cancel out. These cancel out. I'm left with y. and I just multiply. 15 times 2 is 30. 8 times 5 is 40. And then I reduce that down, and y equals 3/4. Now listen, I could have reduced this down. This could be a 1. This could be a 4, right? And I can divide this by 5. 5 goes into 5 once. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4, right? Make a lot of sense? All right, guys, listen. This will be on the blog today.